Good afternoon, Professor and class. How many of you ever wondered if when you vote with an absentee ballot, if your vote was counted or not? Well, I'm here to tell you that it is always counted. This being the time of the year for midterm elections, I decided that it was time for me to find out all I could about the process of voting. I previously have voted, but only in general 4-year elections and only for the President and Vice President of the United States. Knowing now that the status of these United States of America has a lot of work to be done to return itself to the country of integrity, compassion, safety, and respect, I decided that I must do my part in contributing in this cause by going out and voting for those who I feel were the best choice to help turn our country around. I felt that it would be the best for me to vote with an absentee ballot since I am now a student at ECPI University and spend quite a bit of my time working on my studies to continue to keep my grade point average. I am now processing, so I needed to seek out the information I needed to vote in this way. I called up the government building near my house to find out what I needed to do to vote with an absentee ballot. I spoke to someone in the office where they collect all the ballots. I told them my situation, that I am in school studying very hard, but I wanted to make sure that my vote was in. They took all my information and informed me that my vote needed to be mailed in by November 30th for it to be counted. I received my ballot in the mail, filled it out, and was back in the mail by the 30th. On November 6th, Election Day, I wasn't sure if my vote was counted, so I asked my dad if on the way to class if we could stop by the nearest polling center, near so I could check with someone there if my vote was in or not. I walked in and the place was packed with a lot of voters. I walked up and they asked for my ID. My file got flagged immediately, and the person there asked me if I voted absentee. I answered yes. I did vote absentee. But I told them that I wasn't sure if my vote was counted, so that was that. So I was coming over to check. They put me in touch with the chief officer of voters. I had to go and explain to the chief officer of voters my situation. And he called the office where they keep all the absentees to make sure that my vote counted. The person he got in contact with needed some information from me. So he put me on the phone with them, and I gave them my information that they needed over the phone. They then asked me to put the chief back on the phone with him. They told the chief of voting officers that they were checking on one database that they have. They couldn't find it on the one database. They were checking another database for the information and found my vote was counted. There are a lot of reasons and benefits for voting with an absentee ballot. One reason you might want to vote absentee is you might be out of the country on a trip at the time of elections. The other reason could be you're in the military and you want to make sure your vote gets in on time, or you could be out of the state in college and not make it back to your state to vote. Most states have the benefit of early voting. This lets registered voters vote on a specified date before Election Day. Some states have in-person absentee voting, which lets you vote early too. But for the in-person absentee voting, you must get an absentee ballot. Your state may require you to submit a valid excuse. In conclusion, voting absentee gives you the chance to vote for the candidate that you support and that you believe can get the job done. Absentee voting helps with everyone because if you are in the military, going on a trip with your family, and out of the state, an out-of-state student, or going out of the country due to the type of job that you have, most states have the benefit of early voting. This lets registered voters vote on a specified date before Election Day. Some states have in-person absentee voting, which lets you vote early too. But for in-person absentee voting, you must get an absentee ballot. Your state may require you to submit a valid excuse too.